to this conclusion after, for example, studying religion, or just only it was just only a thought that came to your mind, or what exactly? Like, for example, let me just give some background about
Yeah,
it.
no.
And then after that, we could have the discussion is about atheism and the existence of God and all of other things. Yeah.
Okay. No, because I'm good. You want to sort of get the standpoint of atheism, because when he said atheist, I mean, I would sort of, if people ask, I would rather put myself in the atheist category.
Yes.
Because it's easier. It's an easy term everybody can sort of deal with, and that fits. But I'm not quite atheistic in the sense. I mean, I want to clarify, right? Because every position has different shades to it.
That's fine.
And I came to the conclusion that I'm more atheist because I was, born in Germany. Obviously baptized Catholic.
Okay.
So I had Catholic religion classes in school. Okay. And had the whole religion, Catholic stuff going on. Okay. And then I came when I grew older, and then sort of had religion class, and then sort of grappled with the whole concept of God and the world on my own. I came to the conclusion that something doesn't feel quite right, like
in Catholicism.
Especially in the first instance. I mean, if you're saying Catholicism, I have to make another split between the theological side, just the teachings, maybe the word of the Bible, or like maybe spiritual, religious part, and then the absolute like the absolute let's say earthly part of the Catholic Church as an institution. Okay. That I absolutely reject for historical reasons. The Crusades,
but in terms of theology.
Okay, theologically, something didn't feel quite right.
Like what?
What exactly? For example, I don't know what it's called in English, but it's called this theodicy question, basically asking if there's all this suffering and misery in the world, how can there be a God in the sense that is proposed by Catholicism? Okay. And I didn't get until now, to this day, I did not get a satisfactory answer to that.
That's good. This is an important question, and actually, this question been asked by many people who leave religion because of this, because they didn't get the answer properly. Now, I thought, for example, that you study more into Catholicism, and you maybe understood more things which it doesn't make sense. Not just only answering these questions. Because according to Christianity, that they say this God is all merciful. Okay, God is all merciful, and then they say they blame the devil. They say this is the world of devil, so the devil is blamed for everything, for all the calamities that happen, as if God is watching from above there, allowing the devil to control all of these things. And they say, God has nothing to do with this world, and then that means we need to turn to God to ask His mercy, to ask His forgiveness, all of these things. And literally, these concepts actually it exists as well in the Russian, in the Russian religion, in the Russian faith.
And the Russian Orthodox.
No, not Russian. It's the Russian, which is the you could say the Persian, the old Persian. I see. They had this concept. They said they believe in two gods, two equivalent, same power. Those two gods, one of them is God of good, and one of them is God of evil. The God of evil does all of the evil things in the world, and the God of good does all the good things that happen in the world. And they keep fighting each other in a way, and then they said, if you wanted to, you worship the God of good in order to get salvation, in order, for example, to be protected, etc. And all of this concept exists there. So the issue is, it's exactly this concept. It happens as well amongst in the church. They say this is the devil, the devil's world. The devil is in control, is in charge of all of these calamities. That's why this is the answer that they try to run and try to answer this. This actually, I believe, this is running from the truth. And as well, there are some Muslims who claim to be Muslims who are called Qadariya, and this is something maybe the term just to explain. That those people, they said that we have the absolute free will in this world, they have absolute free will, and they say that whatever happens and whatever evil that happens in this world, this is because of the people things, and God has nothing to do with it. God will be notified about this after it happens, and that's literally, this is something which is against the teaching of Islam. Now, if I answered you about this from Islamic point of view, which will make sense, firstly. Secondly, I know that you say inside you know there is a higher being there,
I don't.
You don't believe there is higher being?
No,
at all?
I don't.
Okay, let's talk about bit by bit, and then we'll come to the conclusion.
Sure.
So if you say there is no higher being, there is no creator for this universe, how did this universe come into existence?
Oh, good question.
Yeah.
I mean, science.
Good question, need a good answer.
Yeah, science hasn't quite given the why for how. I mean, there's a model of how a universe expanded and how we came to be in the the universe in a scientific point of view, how stars and planets, all this stuff were created. But why? I mean, science has no answer for that yet. Maybe I'm not saying yet in brackets maybe because science is not to find a reason necessarily, just to explain if there is a process to explain.
Yeah, but the science doesn't answer everything. You know that.
Yeah,
especially in the matter of metaphysics. I mean, generally there is no general answers there. But let me just give you some hint.
From your point of view? From
our point of view, from logical point of view, let alone logical point of view, which all of us agrees on this, for example, some kind of concept. For example, if you came to your house, and then you found something. For example, you found a laptop on your table. You cannot assume that these particles in the wall, they came together magically, and then you say magically, that shows it means it's not happening except
randomly,
just
out of
so randomly it doesn't come like this. And then you open this laptop and then you find there are data which exist on that laptop. You say, you cannot assume that all of these things happen by themselves.
You would assume someone placed it.
Yeah, that's our own logical general answer. You say someone placed it, and someone created this laptop, and someone put it on my table, and someone inserted all of these data there. Yeah. So it cannot happen by itself. Now let's agree which is more sophisticated, this humongous universe that has all of these things, or the laptop that was on your table. Which is more sophisticated?
I mean, the universe, obviously.
Of course. Okay, universe. So that's why to say that if you agree that our socks or our shoes or your jacket or whatever, it has to have a creator to do it the way that it is. But so that's why you cannot assume that this universe doesn't have a creator. Or you will go with these conclusions to say either the universe was there forever, always there, or the universe created itself by itself. Yeah, that's another logical, for example. So created itself by itself, or there is an independent higher being that made it to exist. Yeah,
another option. Yes.
So that's one of the options. So these things. Now, if you wanted to choose now here, to say the universe was there always, was there forever, was there always there, and will stay always there. That we know that the universe has a beginning. Yeah. So our known universe has a beginning, and as well, and all of the scientific, for example, facts confirm that it has a beginning. Yeah. So due to this is literally.
Yeah, it cannot have been there forever.
It cannot there forever. Plus, as well, in science, to say infinity was there always forever. What do you mean forever? Does ever have start? So there have to be a starting point, there have to be an ending point, all of these things. Then the next point to say, the universe created itself by itself, meaning, as if you say that the universe pre-existed before its existence. Like to say, for example, I give birth to myself. You understand? When you say this, as if you were there before you were there.
Yeah, you cannot predate your existence. That's
exactly.
What you're saying,
So this again, that's totally again.
So you're saying, due to this consideration, the only logical conclusion would be a creation by.
Or there is another thing they say. Okay, nothing, and then the universe came into from nothing.
From nothing, yes.
From nothing, and we know logically nothing produced nothing.
Well, to be fair, in quantum physics, there are energy fluctuations on such a tiny. On such a tiny time scale that they come from nothingness and go to nothingness.
With energy.
So energy is not
from
the vacuum. From the vacuum.
Yeah, but there's energy. So the issue is, you see here, that's the issue here. That's the key thing. Again, even in quantum physics, many people brings this, but they don't nullify the aspect of energy.
Oh yes, they do. That's exactly the thing.
There is no vacuum of energy. You see, that the point is, because this energy is something which you can't control. You can't control the light as energy. You cannot control the gravity as energy. You cannot control all of these things. You see, the point is to say, So that's why nothing literally produces nothing. Yeah. If there is an empty thing that has no energy, has no any atoms, has nothing there, it will produce nothing. Yeah. Okay. So then the last option which we have, which we know, yeah, there is a higher being. Yeah. This higher being that is made this universe to exist. And this is, by the way, this is not our own, for example, conclusion. Even the Greek philosophers, before Islam, they discussed this. And they came to this conclusion, and they call it the unmoved mover, the one who moves everything, even though we don't have as Muslims to use what they have said. But that confirms that then even people who try to use their logic, try to use their own analogy, with using their own, our own intellectual ability, to come to conclusion that this universe, it has to came into existence by higher being. It cannot come by itself. It cannot come by nothing. It has to come by higher being.
Okay.
You understand? Especially if we got the computer on your table, example, to say the particles get together and then they do this and all of it literally that is literally impossible with the existence of the energy, with the existence of all of the material around it. You said it cannot happen, especially with data there. So that's why. Do you agree that there is that option, which is out of these four options, that's the only option that is logical, that for the universe to be existing?
See, there I have to disagree. I'd agree that this is the only necessary option. I wanted to make two quick points. First, just about, because I study physics, so I want to get this point about quantum physics right.
Yeah.
In quantum field theory, it says explicitly that in the vacuum state, where there's nothing, no energy, no nothing, the expectation value of energy, which should be expected to be zero, right? There's nothing there, vacuum. The expectation value is zero, but in the expectation value is always a mean time, is always a mean over some time.
Yeah.
That is zero, but in the time in between there can be fluctuations out of nothingness. That is a possibility. It's consistent with quantum field theory and our understanding of the universe. Just for physics.
I think what he's trying to say is you cannot have like a vacuum box and all of a sudden have like two molecules.
Yeah, no,
I understand. So it doesn't produce molecules.
Yeah, I just want to get that point about
even
physics.
I'm saying even it doesn't. You cannot expect the molecules to exist in that vacuum thing. So when there is nothing, I'm talking about this nothing, the emptiness. I mean, you're talking an empty space.
Yep.
Again, we're talking about the space. Again, we're talking about this space, which is. Do you know what it means? That means there should be a space for the space to exist in. Do you see how it goes? So to become even more sophisticated, if you think about it just as the universe, when we talk about the space, when we talk about in cosmology, yeah. So when they talk about the Big Bang, when the Big Bang starts, was it started in a space, or in empty, or in
singularity at the
singularity? That there is a space there to exist.